Beyond the existence, navigating the meaning of life. SkyWalker here, addressing the question that makes no sense, but we are confused into believing that it is a thing. The foolish question concerning the meaning of life. Obviously, life has and is a will to be. However, any universal reason to why we exist remains impossible. What is the meaning of life? Life does not have a meaning. Life does not need to have a meaning. We simply exist, and because we live and reason, we ascribe meaning to whatever, whenever. Instead of asking, what is the meaning of life? You would do much better asking, what is the meaning of my life? It has to be personal. There, you will know what you will decide by your own ideal. Yes, we exist, and neither is there a reason to why we must be. The world exists simply because it does. Something had to be, and it exists as a part of that eventuality. We are alive because we are alive. We are alive as inherent to the existence of the universe. We have critical minds that mirror the open ocean of universal possibilities. Our minds are open to conceive and believe whatever, whenever. Our minds are open to create with free reckoning. Observe the nature of the universe and the nature of thought itself. We exist, and simultaneous to our existence is a divine notion of integrity that began as basic as we began and will advance to the highest level as we advance. Upon that integrity, we must establish our true cause to life. Otherwise, we will be left without reckoning, only to accept divine prescriptions from the definers defining religions and cultivating their concepts of truth and norm into us. That would make us souls, sold to the will of external beings and their personal motives and meanings. So that would make us nothing but utility. Even the fact that we try to answer these questions because it was passed on in our culture as a thing entraps us. That very thing entraps us. As we redefine what is truth and what is righteous or fair through our own integrities, by our own ideals, we advance to higher degrees of being. We establish moral codes that become true to our state of existence until we find higher ideals. We always ideal, we always continue, but we must be free to do so, because tapping at the feet of reverence to an external being is going to stop us. Let us observe the concept of our life's meaning again. We exist with passion, desires, and a determination to find out. We exist with a critical mind. We exist with love, empathy, and conscience. Our beginning had no meaning, but we have the tools with which to apply the meanings to our existing beings, are our existing realities. The meaning of an existing soul must subscribe to the prescriptions of the individual. It is that simple. Every true answer lies within the self. We confuse ourselves when we fail to acknowledge truth within us, only to ratify what comes from outside of us, which we cannot truly know. To accept external and ulterior prescriptions and deny our own will to be is to subject to the lordship of others. If there were any meaning to life, that meaning would be far from obvious. The fact that we do have our own personal internal will is clear. In that we in that will to be, we naturally find the source of reason. The meaning of life might be impossible, but we can easily identify the purpose for our existence, the purpose that we create for our existence by our own ideal. Our purpose is simply to be whatever, whenever. It is to experience. It is connected by the open mind of eventuality. By the first degree of consciousness, the idea, generic consciousness. But what is consciousness? But all that is recognizable or definable. Can consciousness ever be seen as less than living conception? You can make the same sound by stroking the guitar in the same place. You will find, realize that exact same persona of sound. It is conscious of that exact one. It is the individual everywhere. When and how is awareness of a unique, definable sound, and it responds in and by its own person, in its own unique way. Every stroke at the same point every time. So everything and everyone is unique and has its own consciousness. Therefore, it has its will to be like that sound. You cannot stroke in it in that same place, in that same way, and make it decide to be something else. It is within that own the entity's self. Everyone is a new and authentic cognizance. Consciousness is open infinity. Everything that is conscious of anything reverberates life. So, to be alive means to be conscious. Consciousness simply means that we will give meaning to whatever, however, and whenever. Consciousness means we will idealize and define purpose. We do not wait for purpose to be applied to us. It is we who decide on purpose, for it is we that have our personal will to be. So, whatever the ideal, however, wherever, we purpose to exacting it. And there it is, an ever changing reality. On first awareness, we want to know what, and when we know what, we want to know how. Intrinsic to the what and how is the innate will to experience. We create these three ideals by simply being aware, and these three are goodness, truth, and beauty. Goodness, truth, and beauty, the triune architects of love, find infinite, find particular reasons to perpetuate. That purpose is eternally mutable. For this reason, the idea that life must be given a purpose or that we must remain in subject and not the objective mode is not coming from us but from external entities. Because now we have an idea that we have to be given a mass purpose in life. We gravitate to become better and better because of our ideal to appreciate. We want to be perfect, but they tell us that God alone is perfect. And to want to be as perfect as God is blasphemy. It is no blasphemy for a son to be as great as a father. However, to a king, it was blasphemy when his cupbearer wanted to be as great as the king that held the cup. Yes, to a king, it was a blasphemy when his cupbearer wanted to be as great as the king that held the cup. Those who have eyes to see will see. These two realities represent two different circumstances, one of darkness and the other of light. Those with eyes to see will see. Those with eyes to see. We are never satisfied as long as there is better, for we are never meant to be, and there are always better values up ahead. Those that compete with you but know there are lesser lights will trick you by saying that your aspirations are the abomination. They tell you that God will punish you if you aspire to the highest degree. However, intrinsically, consciousness has no limit but to always aspire to the highest purpose, to become God, and higher. They always want you to bend and limit your natural attributes, even to as far as not trusting your own understanding. You always have a purpose inside, but there is no meaning to life. Life itself is the meaning. It never had to have any other, and it never will. Those that ascribe to you a meaning and usually one of servitude have ulterior motives. If you followed me to this point, then I suggest that you subscribe to this channel and keep up with the conversation. Press the like button and share if you will. Peace out.